Have you spoken with Miss Cherry, her attorney?
We tried to call today.
She has me blocked.
And she isn't, we think she's in court or something. We don't know, but we're going to call later.
Okay, yeah, so she's gonna be in court, until probably 4:30. If she can talk to you sooner, she will. I'll send her a message to reach out to Cecilia,
Okay.
when she can. So where things are at right now with Miss Whetstone is she needs to show the court that she's in compliance with her case plan. She isn't in compliance with any part of it right now. So
She isn't in compliance. She's not.
she's not, no.
What?
So let me pull up her case plan to kind of go over it with you.
Okay.
So with the 2-6 here, this is the final hearing. So if the judge, with whatever we present, if the judge says no, then they're likely to terminate Ms. Whetstone's parental rights.
Okay.
And Ms. Stewart, we will talk with you about, if that happens, kind of more, what that means, like what can happen after that,
Right.
with her case. But that's kind of the worst case scenario. Me and Ms. Cherry spoke with Ms. Whetstone a couple of weeks ago. Let me pull up when that was. It was in March, so March 17th. And so the biggest thing is we need to kind of talk about, the appeal, if she does get TPR, her rights are terminated. But an appeal's not guaranteed. It's heard by a different judge, but an appeal's not guaranteed that it's going to be, heard and accepted. The other thing is, with Ms. Whetstone's case, is the case compliance and visits. So that's what they're kind of looking at with the cases. Those two aspects. Visits and the case plan compliance. With the case plan compliance, they had asked Ms. Whetstone, here it is, in 2025, in January of 2025, they had given her a signed case plan. And they had asked her to do a few things, so we pull it up.
Okay.
I was working when they asked me to do it. I was like, I got my parent ankle. So it was hard for me to get around.
So they asked her to do a DV support group, a full drug and alcohol program. And so what that means is something like Tarzana, outpatient or inpatient, where they have, the drug programs, and then random weekly testing, a parenting class, and then a mental health counseling where they can do a psychiatric evaluation to see if Ms. Whetstone, if they think she needs any medications, if she does she have access to them, is she taking them, and then individual counseling. So that's what they had asked Ms. Whetstone to do. They had given her 3x3 for visiting her son. That means 3 days a week for 3 hours. And that was complicated once her son's caregiver had moved.
Yeah.
Ms. Whetstone had moved there for a time because it was so complicated. But now that she's back in LA, it's kind of back to where it was. It's kind of complicated, hard to do, especially with his young age to have, that time. But with this program, case plan that they asked her to do, she's not in compliance with any of it as of today.
Okay.
So we spoke with Ms. Whetstone about going to an inpatient program where she would have all of these programs available to her. Maybe not, no, they'd have the parenting and they'd have the DV, yeah. So they would have all these likely at any inpatient she goes to.
Yeah.
And because they don't ask for inpatient here in this case plan, correct? But because where we're at in the case with so little time, we suggested she goes to inpatient. Because that's going to show, I'm doing the highest level I can. She's going to be in full compliance because she's going to be there on site. Going to give her the best chance for Ms. Cherry to make an argument in court. I don't know what she's done, if she's enrolled in outpatient programs or anything like that. So if you or her can provide me an update on that, that would be great. But that's kind of where we're at at a case where there's really not a lot of compliance yet. And since there isn't, there's only 4 days left. I just don't know what's possible to be done in that time. And
Right.
maybe Ms. Terry will know better.
So to give you some insight, we do have clinical social workers here, and so I did enroll her because this is our first time, kind of like really digging deep on this. I'm a program manager here, so you know I see Cecilia. She's near my office, and we talk, and she shows me pictures of her son, and so that's what we developed to the point that she's in my office and we're talking about this. Since our conversation, I put in a clinical referral for her to do the SUD drug counseling program here, which is like they go through different steps and they get a certificate for at the end. So she has that here. She doesn't need to leave to do out. Yeah, so that's there. I'm not sure if I'm legally able to give a copy of it, but you need to let me know what needs to be provided. I need to clear it with compliance, but I literally sent that email to the clinical support today. Had I known this earlier, I would have sent it a long time ago. We have all this here. We have Matrix here. We have, they're on site. They're on the, and you can put this in your notes, they're on the second floor here. We have, we have Wesley Clinical here. The clinic is here. I'm not sure if they do drug testing. We could see if we could get drug tested today, but I'm not sure. I think that's like a lab, so like Concentra or something like that. So I don't know who does that. If you could send a referral, she can go down there and go take the test today, you know? But I can, go ahead.
So with the testing, she can, if you guys provide testing on site there, that would be great. If she can test today, I don't know if that's a possibility. We don't send referrals just because we're not the ones asking for Miss Whetstone to drug test. It's DCFS. So I don't know if Cecilia has the DCFS worker's number. Do you know if she does?
She call her too. Yeah.
Yes, she does.
Okay, so I'll reach out to her and speak with her about the drug testing.
I already reached out.
The only issue is Ms. Whetstone is enrolled. The referral's been sent, right, for the program, but since she hasn't been enrolled for, any length of time really, I just don't know what Ms. Cherry will be able to do with the information you're kind of telling me. Just because we only have 4 days, the case plan's been open since early 2025, and that's kind of what we had talked about with Ms. Whetstone in March.
Okay.
Is because there's so little time. That's why we want her to go to the inpatient. It's not because we want her to kind of lose access to these resources she has, but because that would show a higher level of, enrollment than what the court's asking,
right,
because she hasn't been in case compliance for, the length of the case plan. And that would just be kind of our last ditch effort, just because otherwise we're going into the court case, on the 10th with just not a lot of evidence for Ms. Cherry.
Yeah, I don't even, so realistically, I can tell you this, that's not gonna happen because working with other clients and me knowing, the process with that, the intake process, a lot of the beds are not available for for inpatient right now. And it has to be, there's so many specifics to that within days, and then she will not be able to be in court on Friday. So that's impossible right now. Number two, we can look into it, but I don't know about that. I can give her some referrals. There's Exodus that she can call. We can try so she can have that conversation on Friday to do the intake process to see what's available if she wants to do if it's possible. But as I stated earlier, we do have the SUD steps here. It's 14 steps, and they get a certificate. She will not make it till Friday. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and so I think with the program you're talking about, it sounds great.
Yeah.
I think the only issue is the timeline that we're at.
Yeah.
Where it's pretty much the end.
Yeah.
And because there hasn't been any compliance, I just don't know what chance Miss Whetstone has.
Right.
That's why I think talking with Miss Cherry would be the best option. I'm gonna talk with her right now. I'll give her a text and a call to see if she can answer. And then I'll just have her call Cecilia as soon as she can.
Okay.
So you guys can speak. When would you be like unavailable? Because then I can also talk to that.
She can call me anytime.
Okay,
Literally.
perfect.
She can call me. Yes.
Okay, great. So I'll have Miss Cherry reach out today. If she's able, I'm gonna really urge her to. And then she can give you really the legal side, because that's where we're at right now. It's not really an issue with, like, DCFS isn't answering calls or stuff like that. It's just like with the legal, what the chances are legally with Miss Whetstone, retaining parental rights. And, Miss Cherry will be able to tell you that better than I can.
Right.
So I think that's kind of where we're at, where anything you can provide, it'll be helpful. So the referral email, if you can send that, that'd be great. If Miss Whetstone is enrolled in anything else, like a parenting class there, or counseling, psychiatry, or a DV support group, anything like that you can enroll in there, with you guys, that would be great. It's better than nothing.
I have another question. The drug testing, typically they're sent somewhere. So if you know exactly where, she can just get on the bus or something and then go take the test today.
Yeah, so I would ask DCFS.
Okay.
So I called the DCFS worker and asked them where they had Miss Whetstone testing.
Okay.
Because they'll be able to tell you. And then they'll be able to give you a referral if they can get her in today for the testing.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to call the clinical director as well down on our floor, so we can expedite someone coming to see her today, so we can get that started, and so she'll have something physically in her hand to bring on Friday. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then you can feel free to keep this number that Cecilia called is going to be my direct number. So please just feel free to reach out to it if there's any questions, concerns, or anything I can help with.
Thank you so much.
Definitely, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time. And then I'll send Cecilia an update after I just reach out to Megan right now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. It's called DCS because you had a long list of stuff to complete, Cecilia.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I just thought, like, I was doing it. I was consistently meeting with the CPS worker who we about to call, and I just couldn't do, like, I had a sprained ankle. I was staying at an AME church shelter, and so I was working. I was trying to do training I was trying to have all my stuff organized, but they kept, like, intervening. Like, I went to a domestic violence office, which was it was actually at the bottom of the office where I work. It was on the first floor. And I went to her, she was like, I can't release any information unless you sign. And then she would just never give me the paper to sign so she could talk to the CPS worker. And she's like in the report too, but it would just be like thing after thing. I would try to get a medical ride to go test, and they like only accept Pharmatech, and they wouldn't let me go. They wouldn't like schedule a ride. But this is Yasmin.
Your call has been forwarded.
This is the baby's CPS work. And she let me know they could have put a referral in because the rights have been terminated. And then the hearing like concludes like the permanent plan because my rights have already been terminated. But I think we can appeal most of it. Most of it is just timing. Like if I would have known you in January 2025,
we would have got this all
squared away. Done. And he loves saying
Miss your card.
The case has been open since.
So I got the counselor to get in touch with us. He can see you now.
I don't know why she's not answering. The case has been open since 2025. And it's like literally I was sitting there.
2, 1, 3,
Oh,
8.
she's not answering. I was sitting there with a C-section, could barely move. And I had my public defender advocate come. She's a blood. And then the CPS removal person, he's a blood. And so they just started talking to each other and I like fell asleep. So I'm like, I'd be physically injured, unable to do this stuff, like barely able to do this stuff. My mom's sitting there and she's like, yeah, but she didn't want to tell them that we had family in LA that I didn't know about. And I was just like, okay, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Just let me be with the baby. Like, that's so dumb because it's like y'all just doing technical stuff. She was sitting there, I'll call CPS myself while I'm in the bed with a C-section trying to, I couldn't even like use the bathroom. So I was in the bathroom yelling because I was so scared that I was going to die. I just have like, it's not psychotic, it's more a little stupid.
Humberto Gonzalez, he's a clinician. He's
Mhm.
going to come see you in 30 minutes.
Okay.
So at least you're starting that. Ask for a paper. You need to get a drug test. Call places to see if you can get drug testing.
Okay.
She didn't send you a place for you to go to do drug testing.
When he's talking about Tarzana, but
Where's Tarzana? In the city of Tarzana?
I don't, maybe.
Call.
Okay, I'm like,
Go down to West. Can you go down to Wesley and see if they do drug testing?
yeah.
So do that. You have 30 minutes and come back up, but you gotta make some moves.
Yeah.
Where's your certificate for your parenting?
I can email it to you.
And I can print it out.